Moses goes up the mountain. He was supposed to be gone for 40 days. And as he disappears up the mountain, the nation begins an anxiety-filled countdown. And when you're filled with anxiety and fear, you don't see anything clearly, and they miscount. We'll skip all the details. The bottom line is they miscounted. And being that they are so riddled with all of this fear and just filled with all this anxiety, the moment that their mistaken count ends, they build an idol. They build a golden calf. And they declare, this is chapter 32, verses 1 and then 4. And when the people saw that Moshe delayed to come down from the mount, the people gathered themselves together to Aaron and said to him, "Up, make us a god who shall go before us. For as for this Moses, the man that brought us up out of the land of Egypt, we know not what has become of him." And he made it a molten calf, and they said, "These, Elah, these are your gods, O Israel, which brought you up out of the land of Egypt." Now let's look at the Hebrew of the first verse of chapter 32. The nation goes to Aaron, and they say, "Make us an Elohim that will go before us." We don't know what happened to Moshe. Now, we can't go into the identities and the concepts behind the different names of Hashem in depth at each fellowship. It would just take up every single fellowship. So we're going to have to rely on what we've taught in the past. But the word Elohim has the implication of a divine conduit, right? Or a channel through which Hashem manifests in the world. But the sages take that word Elohim and they divided it up into two component parts, which I've really never seen it divided that way before. And it spoke to me in a really deep way. You see the slide? The word Elohim, they teach, consists of the word Ele, which means these, and me, which means who. One part, these, Ele, it's a declarative word. Ele, look, these, right here, that's it, right there. And one part, right, is me, the question me, which is who. It's an open and unanswered question. Ele, these are the facets of God which can be demonstrated on some level. They can be understood on some level that you can just see right there. Ele, this is your God, O Israel. Whereas me, right, the rest of the word from Elohim, me, who, is a question that our finite brains cannot possibly comprehend and understand. It's not fathomable, and it simply cannot be described. So, understanding this distinction can help us understand what was happening in the terrified hearts of the people. They were simply overtaken by an emotion, which, after this week, I could empathize. I could empathize with it, really, in a way that I never could before. The people declare, Elah, right? Elah, these, Elah are your gods, O Israel. What was missing from that word? Me. Me. Who? The question, the mystery, right? The mystery that is beyond their comprehension. They didn't want to have to deal with the fear and helplessness and vulnerability that comes with relating to a God that they couldn't see, which they couldn't perceive, which they couldn't understand. They wanted to have some semblance of control. So they created Elah, right? These, a God that they could control and that they could understand. The sin of the people is that they gave into their deep desire to understand it all, to remove the mystery and the questions and even the doubts about Hashem. I remember Shane and I were at someone's house and the wife said, I went out with my friend for coffee. And she said, do you ever wonder? And I was like, no, I don't wonder. I just don't wonder. I don't want to wonder, right? The nation wanted to remove the mystery and questions and even the doubts about Hashem, to make Hashem something that they could understand and demonstrate and relate to with a set of rules and principles that was both comprehensible to them, and also while they're at it, why not make it appealing to them as well? Because we know about the debauchery that was happening around this golden calf. They wanted a tangible, accessible God that they could fully understand, not a transient, transcendent, invisible one that they couldn't understand. And when Moshe descends the mountain, right, he's furious, and he shattered the luchot, the tablets, and he bellows out, "Mila Hashem Elai." Right? What does that mean? Me. The first word is me. Who? Who is on Hashem's side? Come to me. Moshe's answer to their terrible but very human sin was to restore the me, the question, the mystery, the ineffable lack of understanding to the Ele, to that which could be understood, to make Elohim whole and complete and real again. Which is why, as Rabban again beautifully explains, are you ready for this? That the fixing of the sin of the golden calf, the fixing of the sin of the golden calf is the mitzvah of the red heifer, which is the greatest and most extreme example of a chuk. Right? A chuk is a law that there is no rational explanation that we understand. It needed to be a law like that we cannot possibly understand that fixed the sin of the golden calf.